Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from Radio 1.
Welcome back to Climate Warrior with Bhumi Pednekar and me, Hrishi Kay. People in the public eye need to take an active interest in issues concerning the environment and climate because they're inspirational figureheads, and you and me, regular Joes, will have to stand up and listen. Irrespective of whether you're doing the right thing or not, right now, there is time and scope for you to change. Welcome back, Bhumi Pednekar. Wonderful. I was just thinking on that episode on trash, and you talked about such simple, basic things which are being followed in your house.
Right.
And if we can just multiply that one household at a time, how we can just make a change. A conscious change starts very small, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And as you rightly said, that when I started my journey with Climate Warrior, when I started my journey as an individual who's just planet conscious, I literally felt very alone. And I was I wasn't sure if I should kind of put out my opinion and my thoughts and correct people. But over the years, I realized that I need to start doing that. And that's how Climate Warrior kind of started. And today, we are a strong community of many, many members. Like, even if I just think of my society, for example, at the start of it, they weren't very comfortable with the idea of composting at home or segregating our waste. But today, all the houses do that. We have solar energy in my building. So, slowly we are turning into like an eco-friendly, green society in Bombay. And I feel very proud of it. And already earlier it was just my family. Now we are 20 families strong. So as you said that, just basic changes in our lifestyle, in our habits can have a huge impact. And we just need to enroll more people into this amazing way of living.
Episode number 2 of Climate Warrior with Bhumi Pednekar is the problem of single-use plastic. Let me talk from personal experience. Afroz Shah, who is a UNDP ambassador, he's a climate change ambassador. He, and I bless him for doing this, he got me involved and he said, would the radio station like to get involved and partner with him on trying to do a Versova beach cleanup? And I said, before I even start sending people, I've got to be there first. And I was absolutely shocked because the proof of the pudding is in the eating, or in this case, cleaning.
Yeah.
Because I just saw mountains of garbage which we were trying to clean up and it just didn't stop. And then he gave me some really startling facts on islands of plastic that were building up in our oceans, which is affecting marine life. And, corals are non-existent.
Yes.
Species are going extinct, and you feel very strongly about this island of plastic in our oceans.
Absolutely. In fact, speaking of Afroz, my first ever beach cleanup was with him. And this particular beach that you're speaking of, the Versova beach, is where I live. So I remember when I was younger, there was, the entire beach front was full of garbage and plastic. And I think the team, Afroz and his team and all the volunteers have cleared, I think, close to 20 million tons of plastic from that beach cleanup. He was actually my first episode for Climate Warrior. And again, just meeting him has been so educational, and he's such a knowledgeable person. But speaking of the problem of plastic, imagine, Hrishi, we dump close to 2 trucks full of garbage every minute into our oceans. Every minute into our oceans. We have seen, I'm sure there was this picture of a turtle with a plastic straw that was stuck in his nose that had gone viral. I saw that picture and I cried. I was like, what are we doing to our marine life? What are we doing to our other species? We have seen many, many instances where a whale has been washed offshore and she has thrown up plastic, tons and tons of plastic, because she choked on it. We've had cows and buffaloes that choke on the plastic that we throw on on our roads. We have dogs that choke on that plastic. Forget that. The amount of microplastic that's everywhere in the air that we breathe, in the food that we eat. Recently, there was a report where there was a fetus, a human fetus, that was found with microplastic. This is how large the problem is. and we are the problem creators. If we don't find a solution to this, honestly, I feel like humanity is going to suffocate under all the plastic waste. We have, I just feel like there's no compassion that we have. It really hurts me when, because I shoot a lot in Heartland, India. If we go a little away from, say, Mumbai or like any of the major cities, and we go into, say, Haridwar or Rishikesh, just your area along the Ganga. Ganga is such a pure holy river. I worship God as Ganga. And it would break my heart when I would see people put polythene bags and just garbage and dump like leftover food, plastic bags. They used her like their personal dustbin. And that's where I didn't understand the hypocrisy of what was going on, and I feel that's why it's so important for us to kind of call out the problem. Because our mentality, it's like an ostrich mentality, right? Ki, okay, we've put it into our ocean so we can't see it. But as you rightly said, we have islands of plastic that's being collected, and thank God for the fact that we have technology aiding us now, because we have many conscious citizens that are doing various beach cleanup drives, mangroves, they're cleaning up on mangroves, or you have technology, you have bigger companies that are completely invested into a green technology, where you have these different machineries and these different mechanisms that are kind of sucking the plastic out. But the issue is it's not stopping. You still have large industries that use our oceans as their dumping grounds, and you still have individuals that are doing the same.
One of the things that I know about you is that you carry bags which are eco-friendly, organic bags in your car.
Yes.
Because despite state governments banning single-use plastic, Bhumi, what's happening is that individuals, all of us, are not stopping. And know how much can you police a public? It has to come from inside.
Absolutely.
And if we stop asking for plastic from that vendor, that grocer, that supermarket, the battle is won.
Yes.
So, your ready kit. And point number 2, also, I believe that you're a big advocator of, sustainable hand-woven bags. Even if you're using the bag, use the right bag as opposed to plastic.
My life is pretty much single plastic free. Even when I'm shooting, my vanity, there are no mineral bottles allowed. My staff also drinks from filtered water that we either get from the hotel or from our homes, depending on where we are shooting. Their plastic bag it doesn't exist in my life. Cling film and everything where I can only use that piece of plastic once is something that's pretty much eradicated from my life. So it's just not. It just doesn't stop with using reusable bags. I feel there are a lot of things that we can eradicate. Literally making sure that I use like reusable ear swabs. That's how deep I've gone into it, and thank God for that. Honestly, it's not made my life tough. I'm actually saving a lot of money, and that's what people don't understand. Even my sets, we try our level best that we kind of propagate least amount of single-use usage of single-use plastic on our sets, and a lot of film sets are kind of converting, and it's great. And as you rightly said, most of the things that I use in my life are recycled, are reusable. It could be the shopping bags that we have, it could be any aspect of it, and I try and follow a sustainable life, and so from my cutlery to my water bottle to the plate that I have, everything is not something that you usually people think actors are very hi-fi and they live this very fancy life. I do live a fancy but sustainable life.
The beauty of middle class India is hacks.
Absolutely.
And I think of the middle class South Indian family that I grew up in, the middle class Maharashtrian family that you've grown up in, and kullad wali chai, tea drunk from earthen cups at railway stations, and those ghadas for water. Your water dispenser used to be an earthen pot.
Yeah.
It was never anything beyond that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had your share of experiences as far as that is concerned.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I feel like, as you rightly said, right, like middle class India, tier 2, tier 3 cities in India, rural India, they do live a sustainable life because they have their kullad wali chai, they have matkas, they have their own circular economy, that each house has kind of adopted. So I love the idea. In fact, I feel that now our policies should be such that they completely stop using those chota plastic cups for cutting chai and everything, and even industries and companies should now maybe go back to the way people lived a few years ago, like 2 generations ago. Go back to that earthen teacup, utensils, whatever is required, use wooden cutlery, even that can be recycled. So we just need to find solutions, and the solutions are around us. It's just about going and actually changing that small little habit in your life.
And the tea and the water taste sweeter.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it mixes with the earthen flavor.
In my nani's house till date, okay, they only use a ghada.
Yeah.
And just that taste, that mitti ka taste, especially in the summers because the water is so cool. And it's healthier, it's good, it's full of minerals.
True. And even, the food that's consumed, traditionally in Tambram families and in Keralite families, you have a sadhya, which is a banana leaf that you eat out of. And they said that the flavor of the rice is even better when you eat on a banana leaf because the flavor of the banana leaf combines with that of the rice. So actually being sustainable is fun and tasty.
Absolutely. And cheaper.
And cheaper.
And cheaper.
A last point before we wrap up this episode on single-use plastics is that I'm just so happy, and we will talk about this in a future episode. I mean, I see you wearing organic cotton. Polyester today is the most hazardous material.
Yes.
And, people talk about the horrors of washing polyester, microplastics, as well as disposing it off. So I'd like you to end with that, please.
Fast fashion is actually the largest polluter of all our natural resources. So, as you rightly said, polyester is a problem. When you wash it, it releases microplastic. When you burn it, it releases really poisonous gases. So there's no correct way of disposing polyester off. What we need to do is we need to start celebrating our national handloom. India is all about organic cotton, all about organic material, all about sustainability. If you go back and if you see all your cottage industry, it's completely sustainable because you have individual workers, you have individual karigars that responsibly are sourcing those resources and making that piece of cloth. I think that's what we need to go back into. We need to go back into, I'm going to say this in every episode, we need to go back to less consumption. It's very, very important. It is not cool to not repeat your clothes. I think you're a very uncool person who still believes in that idea. It is not cool to have not 20, I don't want to give a number, but it's really not cool to go on a shopping spree and go crazy and be proud of it. It's very passé. If you go to the West, which I would like to believe is a lot more climate positive than what we are today, you will see people that are constant, and you'll see bigger brands that are going towards a more sustainable way of living. I do feel that, to kind of fight plastic pollution, we need to reduce our consumption. It's very, very, very important.
Single-use plastic and the hazards of it on Climate Warrior with Bhumi Pednekar.
If you carry your own bags to the market, if you've completely given up single-use plastic, if you don't use plastic cups, plastic cutlery, plastic plates, or any kind of plastic that could harm the environment, this means you are a climate warrior. Call us in or send us your video of doing the same and you might stand a chance to meet me. See you soon. I'm Climate Warrior Bhumi Pednekar.
If you like this video, then subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss out on more content.